Welcome to the Firehorse podcast, where we talk to B2B founders and leaders about their real life experiences and wisdom on building, selling, and scaling businesses. And we get into what actually works across sales, go to market strategy, and AI. Today, I'm joined by Greg Reiter, CEO of LaunchCommerce. He's an entrepreneur, investor, coach, and someone who has been on the front edge of digital business since before most of us even knew what the internet was. Greg has spent 35 years in corporate finance, capital formation, and business building. He raised hundreds of millions for early stage companies, built and sold businesses, and came out the other side with a very clear philosophy on what it actually takes to scale and why most people are getting it wrong. He's now the CEO of LaunchCommerce, an all-in-one commerce, CRM, and AI platform, and alongside it, LaunchAds.ai, an AI-powered advertising engine designed to make paid media predictable, scalable, and self-managing. Greg, it's great to have you on. Welcome to the Firehorse podcast.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here and help share hopefully some wisdom with some other business owners to help them get where they want to go faster and easier and with less pain.
Yes, we're very happy to have you here. So, Greg, 35 years in the business, corporate finance, capital formation, building companies from scratch. Can you give us the short version of the journey that led you to where you are today?
It really starts with me being born into a really, really wealthy family. I don't know if you ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but it's like I was born into a super wealthy family in Denver, Colorado. And then my parents got divorced when I was 2. I went with my mom, who then got married again, then divorced, then married again, then divorced, then married again. And all during these years, I was stepdad, stepbrother, stepmother, stepsisters, but visiting the rich dad. And when I was 19, I met my dad. He just bought a brand new Jaguar XJ12. I remember it just like it was yesterday. And I got in the front seat and he had a big stack of stock confirmations. And I'm like flipping through them, like $100,000 of this and 400,000 of that and 300,000, 200,000. I'm like, what are these? He's like, those are stock confirmations. I'm like, what's a stock confirmation? And that's kind of where everything started for me. So my dad started teaching me and coaching me and mentoring me about investing. I started investing when I was 20. My first investment, I made 7 times my money in about 4 months. So I turned $2,000 into 14,000. I'm like, I have found my home. I want to do this. And because my dad was wealthy and had a lot of wealthy friends, I got my stockbroker's license and kind of got into the world of Wolf of Wall Street type stuff. And we were, doing stocks and cold calling and stuff like that. But what really changed my life and really got me on the direction that's been with me since then, I'm 64, is I got introduced to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I got introduced to Tony Robbins and I bought Personal Power, his program, Personal Power. And I got introduced to Zig Ziglar and Brian Tracy and Dennis Waitley and Jim Rohn. And I became a personal development junkie. And I remember Jim Rohn saying, if you want to stay ahead in the game, you got to learn every day, 20 minutes every day, at least. And so I can't say I've learned 20 minutes every day since 1983, but I can say almost every single day I've spent time learning, educating, and growing myself since then. So because of that, I'm really big on learning and educating and figuring out why things work, what doesn't work. And that investment banking led me into the world of raising money for companies, taking companies public. And through that, I just learned a lot. And then leveraging my personal development junkiness, I learned all kinds of cool stuff. So that kind of set the stage for the whole rest of my life.
Awesome. And LaunchCommerce carries a bold positioning, America's preferred commerce platform built on faith, family, and freedom. In a market dominated by the likes of Shopify, that's a real statement. So what's the conviction behind that?
Well, you notice how it said America's, right? I say America's because Shopify is Canadian. Number 2, who is number 2 to Shopify?
You tell me.
I ask that question almost every day to somebody and no one knows. So I'm positioning myself to be number 2, but America's number 1. So it's one of the things that you learn through marketing and in category and positioning that state it, become it, believe it, do it. And that's who you are, right? And then the faith, family, and freedom. I'm a man of faith. I've been married, 40 years now, 5 kids, empty nester. And I really believe that faith is where everything starts. And then from there, it goes to family. And then from there, it goes to freedom, right? And so I'm a capitalist and I believe in free enterprise. And that's one of the reasons I have LaunchCommerce is I want to empower small business owners and entrepreneurs to leverage tools, technology, and AI to increase their revenues, increase their growth, generate more leads, and make their life more efficient and get back more time so they can spend more time with the Lord and with their family.
I love that. So For anyone who hasn't come across LaunchCommerce yet, what does it actually do and what problem are you solving that other platforms are not?
Well, Launch Commerce is a suite of technology that's integrated. So we have one place we can go. So we started out with Launch Cart, which was our e-commerce platform, which is really a direct competitor to Shopify. And then we said, okay, now I got the e-commerce going. What do I need next? And this is something that all entrepreneurs need to think about is sequence. So you think, okay, what do they need next? Well, I need to be able to email my customers. I'd like to be able to text message my customers. I'd like to be able to segment them based on who bought the hats and who bought the candles and who bought the hairspray, right? I want to be able to segment them. So you need a CRM, a customer relationship manager technology. So they said, okay, well, let's create, and we have Launch CRM. And within Launch CRM, you have that and those tools. And then, of course, from there, that kind of grew into, okay, well, I want to be able to build funnels. I want to be able to build forms. I want to be able to build quizzes. I want to be able to do automations. I want to be able to have an AI phone receptionist. I want to be able to have an AI chat widget. So it's just this all encompassing customer relationship management that does your calendar scheduling, your invoicing, your payments, quizzes, funnels, forms, surveys. It does everything. Then you go, okay, well, what do you need next? Well, you need to be able to run ads because I'm one of these guys that goes, hey, we can do organic and we can do social, but if you want to build a real business and you want to really grow and scale, you need to be able to buy traffic. And one of my things I teach people, you got to run ads. Well, up until AI, I got to, I either do it myself, which now I'm taking away time from running my business and I'm trying to learn a whole new platform and Google platform, Facebook platform, and, all these different platforms. But now with AI, we have a platform that integrates with 9 different ad platforms. I can run ads on all 9 platforms from one login. It integrates into Launch CRM. So now I'm in Launch CRM. I go click Launch Ads. I can run my ads from there. And then the AI helps write your ads, helps make the creative for your ads, A/B multivariate split test your ads, kills the losers, and creates new winners as you continue to go. And it's as close as you can get to set it and forget it. So now you don't need an agency that you're paying $3,000, $5,000 a month for to create your ads. And you don't have to take the time to do it. You can learn this in an hour and you can create some campaigns and get it going. So it's really designed for the small business owner that is too small to get a whole agency and they're not spending, $100,000 a month on ads. Because if you're doing that $100,000 a month on ads, you need some people that really know how to monitor your ads and do the creatives. But for launch ads, it's perfect for, 85, 90% of all businesses out there. And then you say, okay, well, what do you need next? Well, I'm a big webinar guy. I love selling one to many. And so for many businesses, you say, well, I'd rather get on a Zoom call. I'd rather get on a call and sell one to many. So we have Launch Webinars, and the Launch Webinars has an AI script writer and an AI pitch deck creator. So now you can create your entire webinar based on all the frameworks of proven tens of thousands of webinars of proven frameworks to do webinars. And so we have that, and we integrated that into the platform. And it's like, okay, well, what do you need next? Well, a lot of companies really need an AI workforce. They need an AI agent. They need somebody to answer their phones. They need a conversational AI chat widget on their website. They need AI to help them with their reputation management, replying to all their Google reviews. They need some AI mechanisms to help communicate and reactivate old leads and communicate with new leads. So we have that all built in. And that's just like a product set we call AI Workforce. And then I'm like, okay, what else could you might need? Well, you might need leads. You might need leads and data. So I have licensed my way into big data. And if you don't know what big data is like, think of it like this. Facebook knows everything you're doing on Facebook. And when you click a link outside of Facebook, because Facebook pixels, it knows all the websites you're visiting. Google knows what you're searching for. They know what websites you're visiting. Google has Google Maps. They know where you travel. They know all this stuff. And then, they probably say they don't do this, but everything you buy with your Google email address, that receipt comes in your Gmail and they know what you're buying, right? And then you got MasterCard, Visa, American Express. They know your credit cards. They know where you're swiping them. I just bought something at the West County Mall, and then I traveled to Denver, and I bought lunch in Denver. They know where I'm traveling. They know what I'm spending my money on. All these big companies sell this data back and forth. And now there's these conglomerate data partners. And so I've invested and licensed into that. And now we leverage AI with this proprietary AI system to where now I can search over 60,000 intent signals, people looking to start a Shopify store, people looking for annuities, people looking for video surveillance software. And I can pull lists of tens of thousands to millions of people. And it's real time. It's only 2 weeks old. They're rolling 2 weeks. And I can use that to push into my Meta and my Google and my Facebook ad platforms to get a better result on my ad platform, on my advertising. So that's kind of my suite of products I have so far that allows me to really have an efficient one-stop shop to do everything we need to do to run your business, scale your business, and make everything more efficient.
Slight pivot. You coach thousands of entrepreneurs. What's the single biggest mistake you see founders making when it comes to scaling? And how does paid media fit into that?
So let's talk about the mistakes that entrepreneurs make. So again, going back to me being a former investment banker and retiring from that industry, raising hundreds of millions of dollars, I started coaching in 2000, like 2004. I started speaking on stage and coaching and teaching marketing all over the world, coached thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs. And there's two things that people really need to get a handle on. One is sequence. What am I doing next? Most entrepreneurs are trying to do two or three or four things at a time. And you don't want to do that. You want to do, what do I do next? What's the biggest constraint keeping me where I'm at? What's the number one constraint keeping me where I'm at? Let's fix that and then move the next thing and do one thing at a time and get it done, and don't have 20 different things I'm doing all at the same time and they're all 80% done or 90% done. And I know anyone who's spent any time with entrepreneurs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They have all these half done, half baked things. So it's really about sequence and getting things in order. Like if you're going to start a new business, what's the first thing you do? Well, why don't you get your incorporation set up? Why don't you get your tax ID set up? Why don't you build your foundation that you need to run your company and protect your assets, right? So it's little stuff like that. So sequence is the biggest number one thing. Think through the sequence, and depending how big you are and how well you are at multitasking, most people cannot multitask. I'm pretty good at it, but get one thing done at a time. Number two is focus. Shiny object syndrome and AI. It's like we're all ADD right now. It's like every single day. So you really have to get focused. You have to be committed, make a commitment to yourself and to your team and to your family that, hey, I'm going to focus on this goal and these desires and this agenda, and I'm going to get it done. And so the focus of your commitment, and sometimes they don't know what they're committing to, right? So you got to set your goals. Right. So I think those are the two main things. And then kind of rolling that into what you said about scaling. Scaling, I don't know how you do it without doing paid media. Like I've taken businesses from a zero to $1 million in a month. I was doing e-commerce, and I had a business where we were doing e-commerce, and we went from 0 to 17 million in sales in 7 months. I sold 400,000 people a product in 7 months, all with paid media. And the secret to paid media, and I want everyone to write this down, is be obsessed with pocket offers. Be obsessed with, and you say, what's a pocket offer? A pocket offer is something, it's an offer that's $17, $47, $37. It's a low ticket offer that helps you recoup either part of or all of your ad spend as you're running ads that leads your ideal customer to your core product. Because the minute you can self-liquidate your ad spend, and I can spend 1,000 and get 2,000 back, now I can scale with other people's money. I always tell people, you're scaling with other people's money. It's like, I don't have money to scale. Well, that's because you don't have your pocket offers in line. You don't have your pocket offer stack. You got to have your pocket offers lined up. You got to have your pocket offer stack. You got to self-liquidate your ad spend. I'll give you one case study that just recently happened. So a friend of mine that works with me, his wife has a company, an association called the Women's Gun Association of America. And she teaches other women how to be responsible firearm, carry a gun, how to carry a gun, how to shoot a gun, how to get licensed for a gun, the dangers of the gun, everything about being a gun owner as a woman in this, pretty dangerous world we live in. And they were for a year, not really making any money, generating some revenues, but not making money, spending thousands on ads. I said, let's put a pocket offer on the front end. The first week they put a pocket offer on the front end. They spent 1,000 on ads. Actually, the first 2 days they spent 1,000 on ads and got 1,400 back. They're like, wow, this is cool. So then I said, okay, we got to fine tune this. We got to tweak this. We got to tweak this. And what they had, they were selling a $27 pocket offer. They had the $27 price tag at the very top above the fold on the page. And they got 1.4 ROAS. I said, move the 27 to the very bottom of the page. Make them scroll through the sales process before you reveal the price. The minute they did that, it went to 1.8 ROAS. And then they scaled up to 10,000 in ads, made $18,000 back. And they got 3,000 people registered for a webinar, got 900 people live on the webinar, and did another 20 grand. And so when I say write it down, be obsessed with pocket offers, be obsessed with self-liquidating funnels, because the minute you can say, hey, I can spend 1,000 on my ads and I can get $1,500 back, $2,000 back, and it's got to be with digital products, or it's got to be with products that are low cost of goods. I actually did it with e-commerce and upsells and bundles. Like if I'm an e-commerce brand, I can't do it selling a $35 hat. But if I sell three $35 hats because I gave them some special and I'm giving them something or something to do with it. Now I can do it, right? So there's always ways to do it. And I have this thing called the Pocket Offer Playbook that kind of teaches people how to do that. And in the Pocket Offer Playbook, I invented, or I don't know if I didn't invent it. There are 19 different offer archetypes that I identified, and I created a chat GPT where you put in your business context document and your ideal customer profile and the brand of your company. And then the AI spits back, well, here's a whole bunch of offers you can create. And based on what you got, here's the 3 best ones I think you should do. Here's how you should price them. And here's what it could be. And here's what I could do. And he will help me write that, help me create it. And he'll give you a whole plan to map out your whole entire pocket offer.
So that's the Pocket Offer Playbook.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And how can people get involved with that if they wanted to?
PocketOfferPlaybook.com. Yeah. And by the way, that's one of my pocket offers, right? Leading to my core offer for that. My core offer for that pocket offer is what? Launch ads. Because I'm teaching you how to create an ad strategy that self-liquidates your ad spend. But then what's the next logical thing you need? You need an ad platform that's going to help you do that. So I sell my $27 pocket offer playbook. I have my $47 upsell to my ads multiplier, which creates 30 ads for you based on 32 different ad archetypes. And I self-liquidate my ad spend there. And then I introduce people to Launch Ads, which is my core offer.
Clever. I think I'll be looking at getting the playbook after this call.
Okay. I won't stop you. I tell you what, it'll be good for you. It'll be good for me. It'll be good for the world.
Yeah, exactly. You're clearly all in on AI across platform, across your own business. What's actually having the biggest practical impact on how you operate day to day?
Well, the amount of work we can get done. It's just like everyone on my team. I'm not one of these guys that really likes the idea of, well, let me fire my team and replace them with AI. And I know that some people are doing that, and that's happening. But I like, having a mandate in my company that you're all spending an hour to 2 hours a day learning AI and learning as a dictated from the CEO down, so you can make your job more efficient, so we can scale our income, our business, our services without adding more human capital. Right. So I think that's the real thing. And little things like, email, because I'm the CEO of LaunchCart and because LaunchCart's been around a long time and I got good SEO juice and I got thousands of links back to our website and stuff. I get, I'm going to guess 100 spam robot emails a day. Hey, Greg, as a CEO of LaunchCart, we book appointments for you. We get leads for you. We do this for you. So 100 of those a day or maybe more. It seems like sometimes I have 300-400 emails in my inbox. And it got to a point to where, because I use Google, that first 50, I never looked more than the first page. And I was missing emails and leads are falling through the crack and people I should be responding to wouldn't respond. So I said, okay, I wrote an agent and now I have an agent. I call it my email concierge, and he goes to my inbox, goes through everything. First read, thousands, like 5 years worth of thousands of emails that I've replied to and sent emails. And with a little bit of direction, it's now archiving all the ones I want archived. It's unsubscribing to some that it can't unsubscribe to. It's deleting some that I need to delete. It's reviewing the ones that need to be replied to or need to have my attention. It writes a reply for it, puts it in my draft folder, sends me a Slack message and say, hey, go check email. I've got some drafts for you to review. I go there, I look at the drafts, click, send, edit, click, send. So things like that, I think as people get more and more aware of how to use it, as opposed to it's just a glorified answering machine, ask a question, answer a question, answer a question. And then like with my ads multiplier, that's tied into one of my upsells for the Pocket Offer Playbook, I wrote this skill that based on these 32 ad archetypes, that I can take your ICP, your business, and go create 32 images, come back 30 minutes later, and it's got 32 beautiful images built and written on ad archetypes, perfectly designed for Facebook and Meta and different ad platforms. It's all automated. So, in the past, I had to go to the graphic designer. Here's what we want. Here's what's going on. They got to do their research. Now the AI agent goes and researches Facebook, researches this, does all this, researches the website, takes my ad archetypes, creates the images. It's remarkable. So I think implementing things like that. Now, here's the best advice I can give for a medium to a large size company, and maybe even for a smaller company, is I call it edge AI, or creating AI on the edge. In any business, you'll see people, it's happening right now, they're losing tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, big corporation trying to implement AI in their business. You don't do that. You take a segment of your business, hey, I got to create images for my ads. Move that over here to the edge and create a tool that does that. Test it, use it, test it, do it. But at the same time, you still have your graphic designers creating those images, right? And then you've kind of perfected it. Then you can get these guys and reallocate them to do something else, right? because it's on the edge. And then you just move one. Okay, now I want invoicing. I don't want to do invoicing anymore. So let me train an agent to do this, do that, do my invoicing. Let me do the invoicing on the edge. Still, I got my team over here doing it. And I clone, you do that AI clone. And then once it's all up in operation, perfectly working, then you migrate over and you release and do something else with that human capital that was doing it before. And when you do it that way, you're never at risk of blowing up your business and having your business fall apart because I tried to implement AI and it just cost me lots of money.
Very valuable advice. You have lived through the internet, mobile, social, and now AI. Where do you think this one actually goes? And what should founders be doing right now?
You have to start learning AI and you have to take the mindset that you're like an AI administrator now, right? Because if you're not doing it, your competitor's going to be doing it and they're going to be able to outscale you and be gone. And it really is the best time for entrepreneurs because now these big companies are the ones getting hurt the most because, I'll give you an example with my launch cart. I spent $3 or $4 million building launch cart in 2020, 2021, 2022, and a million lines of code, 35 to 40 different programmers built that code. I recreated the entire code base with me and one other guy in 2 weeks with AI. So, there's no excuse for any entrepreneur that has an idea to create something. I talked to a guy yesterday, a friend of mine. He vibe code. He doesn't code. He runs a hamburger stand at a bar and he created a code to monitor. He hooks up a little thing to the beer tap and he monitors how many glasses are being sold at the register and how many beer are poured. And they found out that this little app that he vibe coded, it tied it into his little system, that they were losing about 30 to 40 glasses of beer a day to the bartenders giving out beers to their friends or drinking them themselves or whatever they were doing, who knows what. But he goes, I installed this and told everyone I installed it. Immediately it stopped. And now he wants to hire me to help him run ads nationwide to, pubs and breweries to install this because it can save them all money. So yeah, give me $10 a month and I'll help you save, $50 a month off people ripping off your beer. So stuff like that. So stay up on AI. Don't get the shiny objects. Pick your lane and go deep in that lane. So like with me, it's Claude. I still use ChatGPT, but I'm going deep in Claude. There's another company I use called HyperAgent, which is a division of Airtable. And Airtable is a billion-dollar company, multi-billion-dollar company. As a matter of fact, I think they have $1 billion cash in the bank and $100 million a year profit. And they built an AI agentic agent program for guys like me and people like you that I don't know how to code. So like with my email concierge, it started off and it was kind of making some mistakes. And I'm like, hey, I didn't like that. Do this, or you delete this, or you archive that. I keep telling it and it just gets smarter and smarter and smarter. And it reads every email I send out and gets smarter and smarter. So it's got recursive learning, which is key. And so that's my lane. Okay. I'm sticking with this code base, sticking with this agent base. And then how can I implement and focus on my business, my products, my services, my clients, and not look into the other shiny objects that keep coming my way?
For our audience, anyone that's listening that wants to get in touch or find out more about LaunchCommerce, Launch Ads, or the Pocket Offer Playbook, where's the best place for them to go?
Really, LaunchCommerce.ai. And then from there, you can get to all of our products and services and check it out, other than the Pocket Offer Playbook. And we already said that's pocketofferplaybook.com.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, LaunchCommerce.ai, and that's like our corporate website. And from there, you can get to launch ads, launch webinars, launch whatever, and you can see what we have there.
Perfect. And I'll pop those contact details below the video as well. Greg, this has been a brilliant conversation from raising hundreds of millions in the early internet days to building a direct, not Shopify competitor to AI agents running your entire back office. There's so much here for founders to take away, especially around engineering, your offer to self liquidate your ad spend, and obviously all the advice you've given on AI. That's the kind of insight that actually moves the needle. Thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it. And to our audience, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you again next time.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I always end by saying, do what I do. Wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude. Tell somebody you love them and you'll have a better day.